You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. A battle of two AL East teams coming up, and the AL East is tight this season. It's the Toronto Blue Jays heading to Baltimore to play the Baltimore Orioles. This is Game 2 of this three-game series coming up next. And the man you saw walking out to the mound, John Means. Left-handed pitcher, 0-2 to start this year, but an ERA that's respectable, 3.86 through 5 starts. Doesn't have a winning decision yet, but those other 3 starts were quality and was well enough to
leading off the afternoon,
at least make him not earn a decision. Here's Teoscar Hernandez standing in to lead off the ball game for the Blue Jays. First pitch coming from Means is a ball. The Orioles are 14-11. That's third in the AL East. The Orioles right now trailing the Rays, who are 16-12, 2.5 games back of the division, and then the Yankees, who are at the top with an 18-9 record. 2-0 count to start this afternoon. Teoscar Hernandez, the one at the plate, and he has had a hot start to the 2020 season. He has 8 home runs. He's batting .268. Counts even 2-2. Hernandez has also driven in 20 RBIs. The only one to have more RBIs than him is Lourdes Gurriel Jr. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off, and he stays alive. But Hernandez was not supposed to be starting in the field, but Bo Bichette got injured, and he's been on the IL for a couple weeks now.
You got a full count. 3-2.
So Lourdes Gurriel Jr. went from left field to shortstop, and Teoscar Hernandez has been in the lineup every day as the starting left fielder. And he started the year off well. Full count pitch from John Means is swung on and missed. And this ball game starts off with a strikeout. 1 out, top of the first.
The second baseman.
Fastball well placed, lower part of the zone, and got him to swing and miss. So with 1 out, that'll bring up the number 2 hitter of the Blue Jays, Cavan Biggio. He made his debut last season. The son of Craig Biggio, longtime Houston Astro. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Counts even 1 ball and 1 strike now. Biggio, you saw there, leading the team in doubles with 8 this season. 2-1 after that pitch missed high, and there's a look briefly at the umpires for this game. So this is game 2 of a 3-game series between these two AL East teams as that pitch is fouled off. Toronto won yesterday by a score of 4-0. And game 3 will be tomorrow, but we are in game 2. 2-2 pitch. Check swing, the appeal is unsuccessful for the Orioles, and the count's full 3-2. And Lourdes Gurriel Jr. on deck. Swing and a miss. Another well-placed pitch for John Means. And he's got the first 2 outs as strikeouts of this game. And now with 2 outs, that'll bring up Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. leads the team in RBIs this year. So far, he has 21. Also has 8 long balls. Struggling in the average department, but it's not abysmal. .233 hitter. And he's been the Blue Jays' consistent number 3 hitter so far this season. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Hit in the air toward left field. And the catch made, and that will end the inning. Or at least the top of the first for that matter, the half inning. But no runs on no hits. John Means struck out 2 in that half inning. And no runners left on. Moving to the bottom of the first, it's Toronto 0 and Baltimore coming to bat. And Baltimore will face this man, Chase Anderson. Still young. And not necessarily poorly, a 3.03 ERA. His decision just makes him look a bit lopsided there. 2-3 has been his decisions at 5 starts.
For the Orioles, the shortstop.
But he will start the day off facing Jose Iglesias. And that's taken inside, ball 1. Toronto is 4th in the AL East right now with a 13-13 record. This team trails the Orioles, Rays, and then the Yankees, who are at the top of the division. Here's the 1-0.
Nope.
That just missed. Counts 2 balls and no strikes on Iglesias, former Boston Red Sox, Detroit Tiger, and Cincinnati Red. And his veteran presence now is attempting to help out an Orioles team that has struggled over the last couple of seasons. But he solves their shortstop problem for the moment, which has been a problem for them ever since Manny Machado left. Counts 3-1. Iglesias, a .298 hitter to start the year. He started the year batting 8th, but he's earned the opportunity to lead off. A couple reasons for that is he takes the walk. He's the leadoff hitter because Hanser Alberto got hurt. And because he was so successful at the bottom of the order, the Orioles experimenting with him temporarily until Alberto comes back. But yeah, he's still batting in the high 200s. And he reaches first base. Leadoff walk. Now here's Trey Mancini. And that's too high, ball 1. Trey Mancini in game 1 yesterday went 0 for 4. Hinju Ryu yesterday pitched a masterpiece. He went a complete game. He went all 9 innings, Ryu did, and gave up no runs on 4 hits. Struck out 6. Again, the Blue Jays won yesterday 4-0. Grounded toward third. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. flips to Cavan Biggio, who then threw back to first, where Travis Shaw was covering, and that completed the double play. Or Brandon Drury's at first. Anyway, here's the starting lineup for the Baltimore Orioles. Stevie Wilkerson in the lineup. Because Hanser Alberto is injured, he got called up to be a replacement on the Major League roster. And he's starting today's game in batting 8th. Here's Anthony Santander. 247 hitter, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. He's on a 6-game hitting streak as well. Batting 3rd for this Orioles team. And he takes that breaking ball down. That'll move the count to 1-1. Swinging a foul ball, count is 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Santander, a switch hitter, batting from the left side. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. And he chased it. So a leadoff walk was immediately erased after the double play, and then Chase Anderson got the strikeout. Going to the second inning, it's Toronto 0 and Baltimore 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. Toronto Blue Jays and Baltimore Orioles are part of this AL East baseball game. These two teams representing the third and fourth place teams right now in the AL East. The Orioles 3rd and the Blue Jays 4th. There's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. John Means struck out 2 last inning and didn't allow a base runner, so he'll start this half inning facing the 4-5-6 hitters, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Randall Grichuk, and Brandon Drury. 2-0's the count now on him, though. Guerrero Jr. had a hot first half of 2019 when he made his debut in the majors.
Ball 3.
Slowed down in the second half of 2019. And starting off this season, low average but high run production, and he works a leadoff walk. It's the first base runner John Means has let up.
That is fifth. The center fielder.
And that'll bring up Randall Grichuk. Grichuk, 174 hitter with 1 home run and 4 RBIs. The starting center fielder in this one. This is a matchup that definitely favors Grichuk. Bats better against left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching, as that pitch is called a strike. The count's even 1-1. Grichuk, former St. Louis Cardinal, now giving his services to Toronto. He came here in a trade a couple years ago. Count 1-2 on him now. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on first base. Here's the pitch. And that can't find the zone. Counts even 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the count run full now. John Means had a couple at bats in the first inning where he worked the count full, but he ended up striking out the hitters in those at bats. Well, let's see if that happens here. 3-2 pitch. No, not yet. At least that's fouled off. Count still full, 3-2. Nobody out. Top of the second inning. 3-2 pitch from John Means. That finds the strike zone off toward the inside edge. And he got him looking. John Means has now struck out 3. 1 out.
Number 3, Brandon Drury.
Here's Brandon Drury. Drury, a former Arizona Diamondback and New York Yankee, as Guerrero Jr. was running. And a successful hit and run here. Trey Mancini will throw it directly into third. But that pulls the third baseman off the bat. And the Blue Jays in a position to score. Brandon Drury nets himself a single. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. advances from first to third on the play. And that'll bring up Travis Shaw. Shaw, the designated hitter in this game. 315 hitter with 6 home runs and 13 RBIs. This is his first season in Toronto. The Blue Jays lost Justin Smoak to free agency and went along and decided to sign Shaw, who is a former Boston Red Sox, but broke out with the Milwaukee Brewers. And so far he's been producing as a middle of the order hitter, batting toward the bottom of the order in this game just because John Means is on the mound and this isn't a matchup that favors Shaw. And he's down on the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, a well-placed pitch. And John Means now has 4 strikeouts on his line score, 2 outs, top of the second inning. Yeah, it'd be hard to place a pitch better than that. And Derek Fisher comes to the plate, 2 outs, runners at first and third. And that's a strike, 0-1. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. walked to begin this inning. And he's the one on third base. Brandon Drury hit a single. That allowed Guerrero Jr. to move from first to third. And now with 2 outs, Derek Fisher, former Houston Astro, coming to the plate. And he falls behind quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Fisher was acquired from the Astros last season, so he's entering his second year as a Blue Jay, and he hits that pitch foul down the right field line. Count still 0-2. Swinging a foul ball, and he stays alive. Fisher, a great defensive outfielder, also runs well. He's batting .231 this season, no home runs and 9 RBIs. Counts 1-2. Though John Means has struck out 4, and he's been in the strike zone more often than not. He's thrown many pitches. And in this inning specifically, he's had some high-intensity pitches. See, there are 22 pitches this inning. He's hitting the strike zone, though. That's important. With the Blue Jays in a run-scoring opportunity. And Fisher applies some discipline. Counts even 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, here it is. Line drive to right, that's a base hit. Trey Mancini will play it, and he'll throw it into the cutoff man, Wilkerson. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. scores from third. Brandon Drury moves from first to second. And Derek Fisher has his 10th RBI of the season with this base hit that gives the Blue Jays. And here comes Danny Jansen, the number 9 hitter of the Blue Jays lineup. And he takes strike 1. John Means now at 41 pitches. Danny Jansen, 333 hitter with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. A 1 pitch. And that's fouled off. Over the last 3 games that Jansen played, he's 6 for 10. Moving into a hot stretch. Grounded left side, Iglesias will play it. He'll throw to Wilkerson covering second. And Fisher is out at second on a close play, but the ruling is out, and that will end the top of the second inning. The Blue Jays get 1 run on 2 hits. There was a walk in the inning, and there were 2 runners left on base. Going to the bottom of the second inning, the Blue Jays lead it 1-0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Orioles. We'll start this half inning. Renato Nunez, Chris Davis, and Austin Hayes all scheduled to bat. And strike 1 to Nunez. Tied for 6th in the AL right now with 9 home runs. 1-1's the count. Nunez, former Oakland Athletic. He's coming into his 3rd season as a member of the Orioles. 1-1 pitch. Strike 2. Anderson gave up a leadoff walk in the first inning that was immediately erased after the Blue Jays turned 2. And then he struck out Santander to end that half inning. He's kept his pitch count relatively low through 1 inning. And a 1-2 pitch coming to Nunez. And that can't find the zone. Counts 2-2. And that was a... Wow, that pitch moved. Whew. Well-placed breaking ball by Chase Anderson. It's Renato Nunez striking out, looking, and now here's Chris Davis. Davis, as of now, having a rebound year. He's had an average under 200 the last 2 seasons, but this year batting .279 with 4 home runs and 10 RBIs. And you see there the infield shifted toward the right, expecting Davis to pull the ball. 0-1 pitch. Swinging a foul ball, counts 0-2, but Davis set a record in Major League Baseball for the most consecutive games played without a hit, and it was over 50 games. And I'm sure Davis wants to forget all about that, and it seems that he's doing that this season, producing well out of the number 5 spot for the Orioles. But in that at bat, he strikes out looking. Chase Anderson, 2 strikeouts in this half inning so far. And now with 2 outs, that'll bring up Austin Hayes, number 6 hitter and center fielder for this team. That's another position that the Orioles have been looking for a replacement for. Adam Jones, of course, broke out and made his signature name with the Baltimore Orioles as their center fielder, but The Orioles decided to part ways with him after 2018, as they've been trying to rebuild.
Nope, at the ball.
For a few seasons now, as that pitch is taken ball one. So Hayes, he's Cedric Mullins, Dwight Smith Jr., they've all been outfield pieces that have been looking to earn the starting job as center fielder for the Orioles. None have found consistent playing time yet. So the Orioles still on a search. It's kind of like with the shortstop position when Machado was lost to free agency. Well, he got traded too before that season ended, but Iglesias covering the shortstop position. Center field needs to be filled. But whatever formula that the Orioles have been putting out so far, it hasn't worked too poorly for them. And the Orioles are in third place right now in the AL East with a 14-11 record. And, of course, the Yankees lead the division. So they're in a tough division already as it is, but they are performing well for the team that they have. Hayes to right center. And that's gone. Austin Hayes ties the ball game with a solo home run with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. His 5th home run of the season. It's a 1-1 game. Well, the Blue Jays take the lead in the top of the second, and the Orioles respond immediately with this one swing. Just got out of here over the right center field wall. So each team has scored here in the second inning. It's a 1-1 game. 2 outs. Here's Rio Ruiz. Takes ball 1. Ruiz, former Atlanta Brave, now playing here with the Orioles. And this season he's gotten an opportunity to start. He didn't start last season. He was more of a bench player. Came in to pinch hit. Rarely started, and now the Orioles having him as the starting third baseman as he fouls that pitch off. Hasn't produced too well offensively. You see there his average under 200, and doesn't have many runs batted in either.
Ball 3.
The Orioles trusting right now that he will develop. Here's the 3-1. On the ground, left side, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. bobbles it, and Rio Ruiz will be safe at first. And the decision on that is an error. It's been known that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has had problems defensively at third base. And add that as another exhibit to that statement. So the Orioles get a gifted base runner with 2 outs. That'll bring up number 8 hitter Stevie Wilkerson. Wilkerson just got called up this week because Hanser Alberto got hurt. So Hanser Alberto was the starting second baseman, and since he's hurt, the Orioles needed some more roster depth. Needed a middle infielders filling the vacancy, and so Wilkerson has been called up, and he's been the starting second baseman.
2 strikes.
But he strikes out in that at bat, and that ends the second inning. The Orioles get a run on the solo home run by Austin Hayes. And moving into the third inning, it's the Blue Jays 1 and the Orioles 1. Well, there's Heidi Watney, and unfortunately, we won't have her lovely insight for this game. But let's see what she might be talking about. So, there's the Orioles pitching statistics. They've got some good pitching minus the strikeout numbers there. You see last in all of Major League Baseball, but some of their AL rankings are pretty good. Home runs allowed, they're at first in the AL. They're second for team ERA.
Leading off for the Blue Jays, the left fielder, Teoscar Hernandez.
Teoscar Hernandez will lead off the third inning for the Blue Jays. But the Orioles pitching staff's been part of the reason that they've been keeping pace in the AL East. Their offense hasn't been spectacular. They only have a couple bright spots offensively, and Renato Nunez, the only one to be batting. Well, I correct myself. I saw that as a 3. He's batting .219, but he's the only one with over 20 RBIs. Everybody else under that, so run production isn't too high. And nobody on the Orioles has over 10 home runs yet. So their offense doing what it needs to do, but their pitchers have certainly been keeping them in ball games. 2-2 count on Teoscar Hernandez, who's 0 for 1. And he strikes out there for the second time against John Means. Means now 5 strikeouts, and that's the first out of the third inning.
Second baseman, Kevin Biggio.
So with 1 out, that'll bring up the number 2 hitter of the Blue Jays, Kevin Biggio. Biggio also struck out against Means in the first inning. And he takes strike 1 there. 202 average now Biggio has. He's been one of the Blue Jays' top prospects. And was also a part of that crew that the Blue Jays called up. He made his Major League debut last season. Him, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a lot of sons of some players in Major League Baseball in history that have had very successful careers. Dante Bichette, Craig Biggio, Vladimir Guerrero Sr. He got him. John Means. He struck out Hernandez and Biggio in the first inning, and Deja Vu strikes them both out again here in the second. 2 outs, top of the third inning, and here comes Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He's also 0 for 1, but he flew out to left field in his first at-bat, and lines one toward right. Trey Mancini there to make the play, and that ends the top of the third inning. The Blue Jays get no runs on no hits and leave no runners on base in that half inning. Moving to the bottom of the third, it's the Blue Jays 1 and the Orioles 1. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. AL East matchup here between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Baltimore Orioles. These two teams close to each other in the standings. This is game 2 of a 3-game series between these two. The Blue Jays won yesterday 4-0. The Orioles were able to score in this game. The Orioles were able to score in this game so far, tied at 1. The Blue Jays scored in the second inning on an RBI base hit as that pitch is flown out to left field. There's Teoscar Hernandez, and Chance Sisco is out, 1 away. But Derek Fisher, got a hit that drove in a run in the second inning, and then also in the second inning in the bottom half, Austin Hayes hit a solo home run for the Orioles, and that tied the game at 1. Now with 1 out, bottom of the third inning, Jose Iglesias comes up to the plate.
Outside, that's a ball.
Does not have an official at bat yet. He walked in the first inning. Chase Anderson moving up toward 40 pitches now. And he's pitched well early despite the home run he gave up to Austin Hayes. Also walked a couple hitters, but the walks specifically haven't come back to bite him yet. And the count's 1-2. Iglesias signed in the offseason with the Orioles, and he's been their answer to some middle infield troubles they've had over the last couple seasons, especially after Machado left and they're moving some middle infield pieces around in 2019. But he is their starting shortstop, also batting well, too, as he hits that pitch softly towards short. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. throws over to Brandon Drury, and now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning.
Number 16.
And with 2 outs, that'll bring up more or less the franchise face now of the Orioles. It's Trey Mancini. He's played all over the outfield for this team, been a left fielder, but starting in this game in right. He's primarily played right field so far this season. Was an 8th round draft pick of the Orioles in 2013. He's been up in the majors now for a few seasons. And he's been one of their top hitters over the last few years as that pitch misses, counts 2-0. This season, Mancini batting .235 with 4 home runs and 9 RBIs. That's not counting his first at bat of this game.
I got 2-1 to count.
He's 0 for 1 so far against Chase Anderson. Anderson's 2-1 pitch is coming. Swing and a miss, a breaking ball. Got Mancini to swing over it. And the count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the third. The Blue Jays and Orioles tied at 1. That can't find the zone. The count's run full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Number 3 hitter Anthony Santander is on deck. He would be next if Mancini can reach.
Nope.
And discipline plays off there. He doesn't swing. Pitch misses high. That's ball 4, and the Orioles have a 2-out base runner.
Left fielder, number 25. Anthony.
And here is Anthony Santander. He is 0 for 1. Struck out in the first inning. Switch hitter batting from the left side. And on the first pitch, he hits it towards center field. All the way out is Kevin Biggio, and he'll go and catch it. And that ends the 3rd inning. The Orioles get no runs on no hits. There was 1 walk in the inning, and 1 runner left on base. Going to the 4th inning, still tied at 1, Blue Jays and Orioles. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. Blue Jays coming up to bat in this 4th inning, and while Heidi Watney talks, and I wish we could hear what she's saying, I'd like to mention that this series is pivotal for these two teams. Right now, they are together in the standings. The Orioles are in 3rd place with a 14-11 record, 3 games back of the division lead. But the Blue Jays are 13-13, 4.5 games back of the division lead, 1.5 games back of the Orioles, and the Blue Jays won yesterday. So with a couple more wins, the Blue Jays would be able to pass the Orioles in the standings. But both of these teams have surprised the baseball world this season so far. They're both keeping pace in a competitive AL East. And each of them have been doing better than the Red Sox, who, after trading away Mookie Betts and David Price, and with Chris Sale having Tommy John surgery, they've really struggled this season. That's hit toward first. Bobbled a bit by Chris Davis. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will reach, and that's going to be scored a base hit. So despite Davis bobbling the ball, the scorer's decision is a hit for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And so he's aboard to lead off the 4th inning, and now here's Randall Grichuk. But the Red Sox are 8-20, 10.5 games back in the AL East. So they have struggled to start this season. The Orioles and Blue Jays have capitalized. They've been keeping pace. The Rays are in 2nd place with a 16-12 record, and the Yankees lead the division right now. 18-9 is the Yankees' record. 2-0 count, Randall Grichuk up to the plate. And he pops that pitch up in foul territory. Chance Sisco has a play and makes it. That's 1 out.
The first baseman, number 3, Brandon.
So with 1 out, Brandon Drury will come to the plate. 310 average after that single he hit in the 2nd inning. Shaw. Usually Drury will start whenever there's a lefty on the mound, and Shaw will start when there's a righty on the mound. Shaw has gotten more playing time, though, with lefties on the mound because of Bo Bichette's injury, which has
Nope, that's down.
made several pieces of this Blue Jay puzzle move around. Teoscar Hernandez is usually the designated hitter, and then Drury or Shaw would start at first base, but Teoscar Hernandez has been playing left field more regularly, so with him in left, the DH spot is open to Shaw now to be able to fill that role. 2-1 pitch to Brandon Drury.
Ball 3.
That misses low. The count's 3-1. Travis Shaw on deck. Drury came to the Blue Jays in a trade in 2018. His story is very strange. The Yankees acquired him in a trade from the Diamondbacks because they wanted a veteran to start the season in 2018 at third base, but he got hurt, and a couple other middle infielders got hurt for the Yankees, so Miguel Andujar and Gleyber Torres got called up, and they were sensational, and Drury never saw the majors with the Yankees again. That's why they dealt him off with the Blue Jays. Brian Cashman, their general manager, said that he does not deserve to be in the minor leagues, and they wanted to fix that as soon as possible. And so they did. He's been a regular starter at third base for the Blue Jays, at second and at first. He's been moved around. Of course, not playing third now with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the majors as Travis Shaw comes to the plate. But he has an opportunity to play first base against left-handed pitching with the Blue Jays, and he's been doing well. As you see there, he's batting .310. Travis Shaw also starting his career well with the Blue Jays, batting .311 now after going 0 for 1 in his first at-bat. Well, he's been very exceptional with this team, especially against right-handed pitching. He's been an established power hitter for a few seasons now as the former... I can't say he played one position with the Brewers. He's been a third baseman, a second baseman, and a first baseman for them when he's played there, but his bat has always been wanted. Now he has an opportunity to be a designated hitter and a strict first baseman because that was one of the Blue Jays' needs in the offseason, providing a power bat in the middle of the order. That's what Shaw is doing, and John Means has worked himself into some trouble now. So Vladimir Guerrero Jr. led off this inning with an infield single. Randall Grichuk popped out, but then both Brandon Drury and Travis Shaw worked walks. So the bases are loaded, and Derek Fisher comes to the plate. He's 1 for 1. Drove in the only run for the Blue Jays to this point, but Means in another high-intensity situation. Doesn't have anywhere to put Fisher. He needs to execute some pitches here to get out of this jam. Guerrero Jr. on third, Drury on second, Shaw on first. The 0-1 to Fisher. On the ground up the middle, that gets past the infield base hit. Guerrero Jr. scores from third. Drury coming around. Austin Hayes' throw is offline. Cisco has to go up the line to prevent the ball from going to the backstop, and that's a 2-run single for Derek Fisher. And the Blue Jays retake the lead. It is 3-1 now. Travis Shaw moves from first to second on the play, and a ball that he got slightly jammed on gets put on the ground up the middle and finds its way through. So Derek Fisher, of the 3 runs the Blue Jays have scored, he drove in all 3. Now here's Danny Jansen. 0 for 1, still 1 out in the inning. Travis Shaw on second base. Derek Fisher on first. And that's fouled off. The count's 0-2. Fisher at first would be more of a stolen base threat if Shaw were not on second. He's a plus runner.
That's a ball.
As that pitch misses outside.
The count is 1-2.
After the Blue Jays lost Russell Martin, after they traded him away, they didn't really lose him, but they've been looking for some of their prospect catchers to come up and be able to be a regular starter and be above average run producers like Martin once was. Danny Jansen so far this season, 4 home runs, and he's batting above .300. He's been doing well and the Blue Jays' go-to catcher so far this season. Austin Hayes all the way to third base. Well thrown into third, but Shaw tagged and didn't move from second, so that's the second out. Top of the fourth inning. Shaw remains at second. Derek Fisher remains at first, and here comes the Blue Jays' top of the order. Here's Teoscar Hernandez. He is 0 for 2. Struck out twice against Means so far this game. And takes ball one there. Hernandez now second on the Blue Jays team in hits with 26. 1-0 pitch. That can't find the zone. Counts 2-0. Hernandez has been one of the Blue Jays' run producers this year. Just to start this game off slowly. But Hernandez gets ahead in the count here. 3 balls, no strikes. John Means has been throwing strikes in this game. However, the second and fourth innings of this game have not worked out well for him. He's given up a run in at least one run in each of those innings. And this fourth inning not quite over yet. As he finds the zone with that pitch, counts 3-1. But he's limited walks, and he's been filling up the strike zone. Oh, not in that at bat. Ball 4 to Teoscar Hernandez. He reaches for the first time in this game. Travis Shaw moves to third. Derek Fisher moves to second. Hernandez now at first after walking, and here's Kevin Biggio. Biggio has also struck out twice against Means. But this right now a pivotal situation for both teams. The Blue Jays in a run-scoring opportunity. Means trying to limit the damage. They're already 2 runs in this inning. Derek Fisher hit a single that drove in 2. That was with the bases loaded. And another bases loaded situation as Means gets ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded, top of the fourth, 2 runs in already. The Blue Jays lead 3-1. Oh, 2 pitch, here it comes. Too high, and that's 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes, count.
John Means. 85th pitch coming. Oh, and that hit him. And Biggio's awarded first base.
The bat, number 13, shortstop, Lourdes Gurriel.
Everybody moves up a base, and that allows Derek Fisher to score from third. And it's now 4-1, and here comes Brandon Hyde. So John Means has thrown 85 pitches. All 4 of the runs he gave up were earned. And at this moment, he's on the hook for the loss. That's pending an Orioles comeback, which the game would still need to proceed to see how that would play out. But as of right now, here's Hunter Harvey. Has a record of 0-2, has pitched in 8 games, has a 3.21 ERA. Harvey came into the game yesterday. Pitched the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Pitched the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. Didn't give up a hit or a run against the Blue Jays yesterday. He came in a nearly similar situation. Blue Jays were up 4-0. This game, the Blue Jays are up 4-1, and he's pitching a bit earlier than he did yesterday. He closed out the game yesterday, but now he's pitching in an effort to keep the Orioles in this game. Blue Jays have scored 3 runs in this inning. Now lead 4-1. The base is still loaded. Counts even at 1. And the middle of the order in store here for the Blue Jays. That pitch almost hit him. Counts 2 balls and a strike. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who led this inning off, is in the on-deck circle. The 2-1 pitch coming from Hunter Harvey. Line toward left center field. That'll be a base hit. One run's going to come around to score. Second runner coming as well. Austin Hayes throws it in. Third runner trying to score. And he will. That's a bases clearing RBI double
Now batting, third base.
for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Jansen scores. Hernandez scores. And Biggio scores. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Ball, that's inside.
has walked, and in his last at bat, he singled. His last at bat was when this inning started. The Orioles have scored, or excuse me, the Blue Jays have scored 6 runs in this half inning. One ball, one strike count. Here it is. And that's ripped to left center field. And the onslaught continues. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with 2 hits this inning. This one a 2-run home run, his 4th of the season. And it's really silent here now at Oriole Park. It is 9-1. The Blue Jays lead. And the 11th hitter of the inning coming up to the plate. But first, let's re-watch this home run. A pitch that was right over the middle of the plate, and man. Yeah, Guerrero Jr. doesn't miss those pitches too often.
Now batting. The center
Here's
fielder,
Randall Grichuk.
Randall.
Strike 1. So the book is officially done for starting pitcher John Means. The 3 runners that were on base before Lourdes Gurriel Jr. cleared them were the responsibility of Means.
0-2.
So Means, those 7 runs, he's tallied with 7 earned runs. Hunter Harvey, after giving up that home run, is charged with 2 earned runs, and the book is now officially on Hunter Harvey. The Blue Jays have scored 8 runs this half inning.
Ball, that's good.
Counts even 2-2. Eric Fisher tallied some RBIs, as did Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Randall Grichuk is the 11th hitter of this inning. And the count is full 3-2. Before this inning, the second inning featured some offense from both teams. Derek Fisher had an RBI single that scored a run. And then in the bottom of the second inning, Austin Hayes hit a solo home run. That tied the game at 1. But the Blue Jays have broken this game open early. Full count, pitch to Randall Grichuk. Finds the zone, strike 3 called. And this half inning is over. The Blue Jays send 11 hitters to the plate, and 8 of them came around to score. Going to the bottom of the 4th inning, it's the Blue Jays 9 and the Orioles 1. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis.
For the Orioles,
An inning to forget for the Orioles. The Orioles gave up 8 runs
Nugent.
in the top of the 4th inning, and the only thing they have on their side at this point is time. But a large deficit to potentially overcome. And that's ball 1 thrown to Nunez. The RBI leader on the team with 21. You mentioned that earlier. Of course, earlier now is a long time away because that inning, that top of the 4th inning took a while. But Derek Fisher had an RBI single that drove in 2 in the top of the 4th. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., with the bases loaded, had a bases clearing RBI double. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit a 2-run home run. 2-1 pitch coming to Nunez. Popped up, foul territory. Brandon Drury has a play, and he makes it. That's out number 1. So John Means,
Now batting. First baseman, Chris.
he went 3 2/3 innings, and even though he was taken out of the game with the bases loaded, he is charged with all 3 runs as well that scored on the Lourdes Gurriel Jr. double. because he put those runners on base. So John Means gave up 7 earned runs total in his start. He's in line for the loss. Hunter Harvey charged with 2 earned runs, and we'll see what Brandon Hyde wants to do coming around for the 5th inning. But Renato Nunez led this inning off with a pop out to first base in foul territory. Now Chris Davis is behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. That's outside, counts 1 and 2. So Chase Anderson has a large lead to work with on the mound.
Inside, ball 1.
Blue Jays pitching has been doing well in this series. Hinju Ryu yesterday pitched a complete game shutout. Chase Anderson gave up a home run. That's the only hit he's given up. Also, it was walked 2, but gets Chris Davis to strike out there. And with 2 outs, here's Austin Hayes. The only RBI in this game for the Orioles. Had a solo home run in his last at bat. That tied the game at 1 at that point, but that was before the 8-run top of the 4th that the Blue Jays put up. The Blue Jays sent 11 hitters to the plate in the top of the 4th, and 8 of them scored. Chop foul, counts 1 and 2. Again, this game is crucial for the Blue Jays, who are trying to move up in the standings. The Blue Jays are 1.5 games back of the Orioles, who are in 3rd place. The Blue Jays have a 13-13 record. The Orioles have a 14-11 record. The Orioles in 3rd place, the Blue Jays in 4th. 1-2 pitch. Hit in the air and foul. The count's still 1 and 2. The Yankees are in 1st. The Rays are in 2nd. The Orioles are in 3rd. The Blue Jays are in 4th. And the Red Sox in 5th. And the Red Sox have started 2020 abysmally. 8-20 is their record. They're 10.5 games back of the division lead. Chase Anderson strikes out Austin Hayes there. And Oriole Park has become silent. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. To the 5th inning, it's an 8-run ball game. Orioles and Blue Jays. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. Michael Rucker in the bullpen for the Orioles to start the 5th inning. And Brandon Drury will lead off for the Blue Jays, who are now on offense. That's a strike over the inside edge, counts 0-1. There's the visual of Michael Rucker throwing. Hunter Harvey gave up 2 earned runs.
Nope, ball 1.
Last inning when he gave up a 2-run home run to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Starting out this half inning by facing the 6, 7, 8 hitters as that appeal says no swing. Counts 2-1. So it'll be Brandon Drury, Travis Shaw, and Derek Fisher. They're the scheduled hitters of this half inning. Counts even 2-2 now on Brandon Drury. Swings and misses at that pitch. Chance Sisco dropped the ball, so we'll throw to Chris Davis to complete the strikeout. And there is 1 out at the top of the 5th inning, and now here's Travis Shaw. Shaw is 0 for 1. He walked, though, in his last plate appearance and came around to score. He fouls that pitch off, and now this is a matchup that favors Shaw. John Means, who was on the mound to start the game, was a left-handed pitcher, so Shaw batting lower in the order for that reason. Of course, for giving up 7 earned runs, Means was taken out of the ball game, but now Shaw has a better advantage here against a right-handed pitcher.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
1-2 pitch coming from Hunter Harvey. Swing and a miss. So Brandon Drury and Travis Shaw have gone down on strikes to begin the 5th inning, and now there are 2 outs.
Derek Fisher.
And now coming up to the plate is the number 8 hitter, Derek Fisher. Fisher has 12 RBIs now on the season. Has 3 in this game. In each at bat, he had an RBI base hit. Actually, they were both singles, to be more specific. One drove in a run in the second inning, and the other single drove in 2 runs. That was in the 4th inning. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Derek Fisher, a former first-round draft pick. He was drafted by the Astros in 2014, made his debut in 2017,
Count 2-1.
and was on their World Series roster for the fact that he is a quick runner and he was an adamant defensive replacement. Counts even at 2. Was acquired by the Blue Jays last season, and he's been their center fielder and right fielder ever since. He lined that one into the shift. Jose Iglesias was played well, and he's able to make the catch. And that ends the top of the 5th inning. The Blue Jays get no runs on no hits and leave no runners on base. Moving to the bottom of the 5th inning, it's the Blue Jays 9 and the Orioles 1. Here's Heidi Watney, and I'm sure that she could be talking about the Orioles being down by a significant margin at this point in the game. We're at the halfway point in this game, bottom of the 5th inning coming up. As Brandon Hyde, the manager. And really the only thing that the Orioles have on their side right now is time. There's a whole half of a ball game. There's a whole half of a ball game. There's a half of a ball game left. Yeah, it's funny how play on words happen like that. Here's Rio Ruiz, where there is a half of a ball game left, and that's the only thing the Orioles have going for them right now, is that they're not on a clock, and that's just the nature of baseball, is that there is no clock. That 27 outs must be recorded by one team before a ball game's over. 54 total. We're keeping score with math there, but anyway, that's what the Orioles have working for them. They're down 8.
Ball match outside.
Counts even 2-2. They're down 8. They have 4 runs to work with. Or 5, technically, to work with. That pitch misses inside. Counts full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. However, the Blue Jays are in need of keeping this lead, because a sweep of the Orioles would put the Blue Jays in sole possession of 3rd place in the AL East. So this is a big series for the Blue Jays, who won Game 1, and with 2 more wins to complete this series, they would be in 3rd place moving into their next. Here's Stevie Wilkerson. He's 0 for 1, struck out in the 2nd inning. Well, the mascot getting everybody fired up a little bit. Oriole Park needs some enthusiasm. The 4th inning made this crowd silent, which is understandable when 8 runs are put up in a single inning, and it's not your team putting up the runs. It makes sense for fans to check out of a ball game. But the mascot bringing them right back in. The leadoff walk. Rio Ruiz starts this half inning for the Orioles. Now Stevie Wilkerson is behind in the count, but now it's 1-2 after that ball thrown. Chase Anderson about to throw pitch number 74 of his outing, and that misses. Counts even 2-2. Blue Jays won yesterday's game 4-0, leading this one 9-1. This is game 2 of the series between these two, and that counts full now 3-2. Full count pitch to Wilkerson. Switch hitter batting from the left side, and he swings and misses at that off-speed pitch. And the crowd
Now batting,
becomes more
catcher,
silent in this one.
Cisco.
That's 1 out. And with 1 out, bottom of the 5th, here's Chance Cisco. Takes strike 1 over the middle of the plate. Anderson been throwing between 93 and 95 miles per hour with his fastball in this one. Oh, 1 pitch coming. Swing and a miss, counts 0-2. Nobody warming up now in the Blue Jays bullpen. That's the first activity that Blue Jays bullpen has had in this game so far. That pitch misses, counts 1-2. So Chance Sisco at the plate. He's been platooning with Pedro Severino as at the starting catcher's position. Sisco, the left-handed hitter, typically starts when there's a righty on the mound, and Pedro Severino, the right-handed hitter, typically starts when a lefty's on the mound. It's more of a matchup thing for these two, but both of these catchers are still rather young, so the Orioles just looking to see who could develop faster, who could produce more, who could help the team win ball games more. So until that decision's made, these two will platoon. Another full count worked here by the Orioles. And the top of the order coming up next. It's Jose Iglesias on deck. Full count pitch, here it comes. And that's too far low and outside, and that's the second walk that Chase Anderson has issued. Rio Ruiz moves to second on the play, and aboard at first is Chance Sisco, and now Jose Iglesias coming up to the plate. Iglesias 0 for 1. He reached base, though, in the first inning when he walked. Ruiz on second, Sisco on first, 1 out, and Iglesias takes strike 1 from Chase Anderson, who may very well be nearing the end of his outing. He's coming up on 90 pitches now, has let a couple runners on in this half inning, and now that one's hit to right center field. That's going to fall. Ruiz was tagging at second base, and now there's a cluster on the base paths. Ruiz rounding third, and the relay in is not in time. Rio Ruiz scores from second base. Chance Sisco advances from first to third. And Jose Iglesias credited with an RBI double. It's now 9-2. Blue Jays still lead it. And this is just another reason why Chase Anderson might be done soon. Somebody warming up in the bullpen. His pitch count's getting high.
Count 1-0.
And he's given up 2 runs now. Trey Mancini up to the plate. So Ruiz and Sisco each walked, and with 1 out, Jose Iglesias hit an RBI double that scored Ruiz. Now there's still runners at second and third, and the middle of the order is coming up for the Orioles. Trey Mancini with 4 home runs. That's good for third on the Orioles team. So it's Sisco on third and Iglesias on second. And that pitch hit toward right center field. And Grichuk can't make the play. That's going to be over the wall on a hop. Automatic double for Trey Mancini. And both runners are going to score on the play. So Sisco scores from third. Jose Iglesias scores from second. And Trey Mancini aboard at second base with an RBI double. It's now a 5-run game as a couple more pitchers start to warm up in the Blue Jay bullpen. And here is Anthony Santander. He is 0 for 2, switch hitter batting from the left side. Trey Mancini now has 11 RBIs on the season, and there's the pitches this inning. Thrown by Chase Anderson. 15 balls, 11 strikes. He's walked a couple and then proceeded to give up 2 base hits that each led to runs. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Santander. Here's the pitch. And a look out. Counts 3-1.
Down to 3-1.
Renato Nunez on deck, the RBI leader on the Orioles team this season.
Ball 4.
And that can't find the zone either, according to the home plate umpire. Chase Anderson has now walked 3 hitters in this half inning.
Designated hitter, Renato Nunez.
Mancini still on second. Santander on first now, and with that, a new pitcher coming in for the Blue Jays. Thomas Pannone coming in to pitch. See his stats there. He has a 1-0 record in 7 games appeared in. .063 ERA in that time as well. He's limited runs before, and what the Blue Jays need him to do here. The Orioles have already put up 3 runs in this half inning.
Nope, that's the ball.
And are making a bid for a comeback. It was 9-1 when this half inning started. It's now 9-4, and there's still only 1 out, 2 runners on base. Mancini on second. And Santander on first. Here's the 1-1. Hit well and fouled on the right side. Counts 1-2. Blue Jays put up 8 runs in the 4th inning, thanks to RBIs by Derek Fisher, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Nunez takes ball 2. But in this inning, RBIs were credited to Jose Iglesias and Trey Mancini. Chase Anderson walked a couple of the first hitters that he faced and gave up a couple hits, and now Nunez hits one out toward left center field. On the run, Randall Grichuk. He'll make the catch. Mancini tagged at second, and he seems to have no intention of advancing from there. So Renato Nunez flies out to center field, and now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, Chris Davis comes to the plate. Davis has struck out twice in this game, but now he's facing somebody other than Chase Anderson. First pitch of the plate appearance. That's a strike, 0-1. Davis, 10 runs batted in so far on the season. And this is a matchup that that shows an advantage to Pannone. Davis does not have a good track record against left-handed pitching, at least in recent years for that matter. The 1-2 pitch coming, here it is. And that misses, counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trey Mancini on second, Anthony Santander on first. And a well-placed pitch there. Pannone gets the strikeout to end the 5th inning. The Orioles, however, score 3 runs in that half inning and make it a 5-run game going into the 6th inning. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Blue Jays. Danny Jansen, then back to the top for Teoscar Hernandez and Kevin Biggio. Jansen, who is 0 for 2, takes strike 1. It's been the opposite of his last game that he played, went 3 for 4 with a home run yesterday against these very same Orioles. Counts even 1-1. Hunter Harvey came in with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Gave up 2 earned runs.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Has since pitched a scoreless 5th and comes out again for the 6th inning.
That's ball 3.
And a count 3-1 now on Danny Jansen. Top of the order coming up for the Blue Jays. Put up 8 in the 4th. Then didn't put up any in the 5th. That one grounded left side. Iglesias backhands. And he'll throw over to Chris Davis, but Danny Jansen beats that one out. And the ruling on that is a base hit, so it's an infield single to start the 6th inning. And Danny Jansen has his first hit of this game. And with that, the top of the order resurfaces. Here comes Teoscar Hernandez. He's 0 for 2 out of the leadoff spot. He also walked and came around to score a run. That was back in the 4th inning. 0-1. That's outside, counts even at 1. Strike two. The Blue Jays struck first in this game. Derek Fisher had an RBI single in the second inning. Then in the bottom of the second, Austin Hayes hit a solo home run. That made it 1-1. As that's right over the middle of the plate. 12 strike three. Teoscar Hernandez now 0 for 3. And there's one out top of the sixth. Then in the fourth inning,
Second baseman, Kevin.
the Blue Jays scored 8 runs. Thanks to RBIs by Derek Fisher, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And Guerrero Jr. went deep with the 2-run home run. And that capped off the 8-run inning. The Blue Jays sent 11 hitters to the plate in that fourth inning. The bottom of the fourth and the top of the fifth went scoreless. Then in the bottom of the fifth inning, Chase Anderson walked a couple hitters. And Jose Iglesias hit an RBI double, as did Trey Mancini.
I got the count 0-2.
The Orioles scored 3 runs in the bottom of the fifth inning, and they have a total of 4 now, and that's how the score has come to 9-4. Certainly not a pitcher's duel in this one. Each starter didn't make it past the fifth inning. Strike 3 called. Hunter Harvey, after giving up the leadoff single to Danny Jansen, struck out the next 2 hitters.
Shortstop, Lourdes Gurriel.
Kevin Biggio down for the 3rd time in this game. As a matter of fact, Teoscar Hernandez struck out 3 times as well. And so with 2 outs here is Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He takes ball 1. Gurriel Jr. 1 for 3. He had a bases clearing double that scored 3 runs in that momentous 4th inning. Blue Jays haven't scored since the 4th, as that pitch was taken for a strike. Over the last 8 games, Gurriel Jr. has 6 RBIs. It also includes some that he had in yesterday's game against the Orioles, as that pitch is hit one to left field toward the wall, and it's gone. Second home run hit by the Blue Jays, this one by Lourdes Gurriel Jr. His 9th of the season, and the Blue Jays extend the lead. They've passed 10 runs now, and they lead at 11-4. Hunter Harvey has now given up 4 earned runs, and it's becoming silent again here at Oriole Park in Baltimore. The pitch was left up in the zone. And Gurriel Jr. hit it on a line drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're at
As Ted Williams used to put it, hit it just too far. Home run. Here's Michael Rucker now coming into the game for the Orioles. He's appeared in 10 games, doesn't have a decision. More of a middle relief pitcher, and his ERA is respectable, 3.65 ERA. 9 strikeouts and 5 walks on the season. There's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who walked in his first plate appearance and then batted twice in the 4th inning, and he got a hit. He got 2 hits in that inning. He had a single to lead off the 4th. Then when he came up again, he went deep. 2-run home run.
2-0.
That he hit made it 9-1 at the time. Now 11-4. 2-0 pitch coming. I can't find the zone. Counts 3-0. Randall Grichuk on deck. That's right over the middle of the plate at 92 from Michael Rucker, and the count's 3-1. Yeah, it's becoming more silent in here. The Orioles were making a bid to score some runs and lessen the deficit, but Lourdes Gurriel Jr. has hurt those dreams a bit. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. walks. He's on for the 4th straight time. Has a couple walks and a couple hits. And with 2 outs, Randall Grichuk will come to the plate. Grichuk, one of the only hitters in this Blue Jays lineup that has yet to reach base. He is 0 for 3. And he takes strike 1. Grichuk also batted 2 times in the 4th inning and didn't get a hit in either at bat. Also didn't reach base at all. 0-1 pitch. That's down low. Counts even 1-1. Sean Armstrong in the Orioles bullpen. There's action in both bullpens right now, as a matter of fact. Here comes the 1-1. On the ground right side. Wilkerson flips to Iglesias covering second. Guerrero Jr. is out at second. And the top of the sixth is over. The Blue Jays get a couple more runs thanks to a 2-run home run by Lourdes Gurriel Jr. It's 11-4. The Blue Jays lead the Orioles going to the bottom of the sixth. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. The Orioles will send 6, 7, 8 hitters to the plate. Begin this half inning. It's Austin Hayes, Rio Ruiz, and Stevie Wilkerson all scheduled to bat. And Hayes, first pitch swinging, hits it toward left field, but it's played well by Teoscar Hernandez. And that's the first out of the bottom of the sixth inning.
Rio Ruiz.
Well struck, just played well out there by Hernandez. And with one out, that'll bring up Rio Ruiz. He walked in the fifth inning and later came around to score on the Jose Iglesias RBI double.
Whoa, that count.
Facing Pannone for the first time in this game today. 1-0 pitch is popped into the air. There's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He'll make the catch, and now there are 2 outs.
Now batting, second baseman, Stevie.
It's 11-4. The Blue Jays lead it.
Wilkerson.
Blue Jays extended their lead at the top of the sixth inning. The Orioles haven't scored since last inning. They've only scored in the second and the fifth inning. Blue Jays scored in the the Blue Jays scored in the second inning, the fourth inning, and the sixth inning now. Stevie Wilkerson, switch hitter, batting from the right side of the plate. Starting second baseman for the Orioles as of right now. Was called up
1-1.
earlier this week to replace an injured Hanser Alberto. Started the season in AAA, which was a surprising move by the Orioles because Wilkerson had played well in the right field, but sent down to the minors, started in AAA Norfolk, and now getting his opportunity to play for the Orioles again with some injuries to the Orioles roster. 1-2 pitch, that's outside, counts even at 2. Also, this is game 2 of a 3-game series. Game 1 was played yesterday. The Blue Jays won 4-0. These two close in their placement right now in the AL Eastern Division. The Orioles are in third place, and the Blue Jays trail the Orioles in fourth place. They're a game and a half back of the Orioles. So this series is meaningful for these two. If the Blue Jays can sweep the Orioles, they will move into sole possession of third place. Even winning 2 out of 3 would make them a half game back moving into their next series. Hit toward right center field. Randall Grichuk makes the catch, and that will end the 6th inning. The Orioles get no runs on no hits and leave no runners on base. Moving to the 7th inning, it's the Blue Jays 11 and the Orioles 4. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis.
Number 3, Brandon.
The Blue Jays have 6, 7, 8 hitters due up. To begin this half inning, it's Brandon Drury, Travis Shaw, and Derek Fisher. And these 3 hitters have played a role in the Blue Jays creating such a large deficit over the Orioles. Drury is 1 for 2. He also reached on a walk earlier on. 1-1 pitch from Michael Rucker coming in
2 balls, 1 strike.
pitch in his second inning. Starting in his first inning of this game as Drury grounds that one toward third. Ruiz plays it. Throws to Davis, and the play successful. That's out number 1.
Now batting, designated hitter, Travis.
But Rucker came in the 6th to replace Hunter Harvey, who couldn't pitch out of the 6th inning. Harvey was pulled after Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hit the 2-run home run. And now Rucker continues to pitch with 1 out. We'll face Travis Shaw, who's over 2. Reached base on a walk, though, earlier in this game. And Shaw grounds it up the middle, but the infield was shifted, so Jose Iglesias making that play. And now there are 2 outs.
Now batting, right fielder, Derek.
So already talking about the series. This is Game 2. Game 3's tomorrow, but looking further into the road ahead, the Blue Jays, after this series, will start a 3-game series with the Red Sox on Monday, as Derek Fisher fouls that pitch off. So that's another divisional series that could help the Blue Jays. If the Blue Jays can win at least 2 games in the series against the Orioles right now.
Down 0-2.
And then the Orioles, after this series, will start a 4-game series with the Royals on Monday. Swing and a miss. Michael Rucker
Ladies and gentlemen,
retires the side in order.
7th inning stretch.
No runs, no hits, nobody left on. Going to the bottom of the 7th inning, it's Toronto 11 and Baltimore 4. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. Moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. And after the 7th inning stretch, of course, these fans are rooting for the home team, but it's getting harder to root for them as time passes.
1-0.
It's a 7-run game. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Wilmer Font and Justin Miller each throwing now in the Blue Jays bullpen. But the Blue Jays had an 8-run 4th inning that has
No strike.
really separated the scores in this game. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, counts 2-1.
Count is 2-1.
Hit toward the left side of the infield, and that gets past Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and bobbled by Teoscar Hernandez. But Cisco not quick enough to make any advancements on the bases. And that'll be a leadoff single for the Orioles catcher. Now here's Jose Iglesias. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. Also had an RBI double. Last time he batted in the 5th inning. Take strike 1 there.
1-1.
Iglesias has been hitting well for the Orioles since he's been here. Started as the number 8 hitter, but with Hanser Alberto's injury, he's gotten an opportunity to bat in the leadoff spot, and so far he's been doing well. He's batting over 300 now after getting a hit a couple innings ago. Oh-2 pitch coming. Line drive into right field, and a diving attempt by Derek Fisher, but he can't make the play. Chance Cisco will get into second, and Jose Iglesias now has 2 hits in this game. He's 2 for 3, and the Orioles have runners on first and second with nobody out. Always got to appreciate the effort. Derek Fisher, a very good fielder. Just couldn't make that play there, and now there are runners on first and second. Trey Mancini up to the plate. He is 1 for 2. Hit a double that scored 2 runs back in the 5th inning. And has another run scoring opportunity here with Chance Cisco on second and Iglesias on first. Gurriel Jr., Biggio over to Drury, and that's a double play that Trey Mancini is grounded into. Out at second is Jose Iglesias. And there's a quick 2 outs of the Orioles. Middle of the order coming up now for the Orioles. But there are 2 outs. Anthony Santander coming in. Switch hitter batting from the right side for the first time in today's game. He walked in the 5th inning. It's the only time he's reached base in this one. Chance Cisco on third after the double play, and Santander grounds toward third. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has it. Throws to Brandon Drury. That's in time, and the 7th inning is over. No runs scored for the Orioles in that inning. Moving to the 8th, it's Toronto 11 and Baltimore 4. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Blue Jays. Danny Jansen, then back to the top for Teoscar Hernandez and Cavan Biggio. The Blue Jays putting on quite an offensive display. Blue Jays, they won Game 1 4-0, and this has taken that offensive pursuit to a whole new level as well. 11-4 is this score. Blue Jays scored 8 runs in the 4th inning and sprinkled in some other runs in some different innings. That 4th inning has been the difference maker in this one. One-two pitch coming from Michael Rucker.
That's ball 2.
Who came in the 6th, pitched a scoreless 7th, now here in the 8th. 2-2 to Danny Jansen. Inside counts full 3-2. Popped him up, but foul. And the count will remain full 3-2. Full count pitch coming again. Here it is. Strike 3 called over the outside edge, and look, Jansen thought he had a walk. That's the first out. Let's take a look at it on pitch tracks.
Teoscar Hernandez.
Well, in the words of so many players, coaches, and fans, it was close enough. Out number 1. Here's Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar Hernandez down 0-1, but I remember playing baseball before when I was in my late teens, and we were blowing out a team once, and I remember the umpire said, "Hey, if it's close, you're swinging." That's just the fun nature of baseball, just knowing you have that relationship with umpires and players, and a few umpires get attention from the media for making bad calls, but you always have to remember that there are many umpires in the league, and usually fans don't give attention to what an umpire does a quality job, or sometimes you don't always see the relationships that players have with umpires, and that's what makes baseball baseball, is that you have so many elements of baseball that are up to judgment or that aren't concrete, that they're up to interpretation, and that's what makes baseball, that's one of the many elements that makes baseball such a much different sport than anywhere else, where everything is concrete and where everything is solidified, and judgments typically aren't really judgments because they can be proven factually one way or another, like for football, for example, being in bounds or out of bounds. Tackles are defined completely as Hernandez strikes out there. Here's Cavan Biggio. But just remember that when you're watching baseball, is that there's so many elements of baseball, and the umpires are one of the many elements that actually make baseball such a great sport. Don't let the few that don't do well deter you from the many that do their job well and enjoy it and make it fun for players and fans and coaches alike. Here's Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Cavan Biggio on board with a single, and that's strike 1 thrown to Gurriel. Gurriel Jr. 2 for 4, 5 RBIs in this game, had an RBI double that scored 3 runs, and then hit a 2-run home run in his last at-bat. And he falls behind against Michael Rucker, no balls and 2 strikes. It's been quite a ball game for the Blue Jays, who have an opportunity to gain on the Orioles. These two are the 3rd and 4th place teams in the division. The Orioles are in 3rd place. The Blue Jays are in 4th, but if the Blue Jays can sustain this win, they will move up and be a half game back of the Orioles after today. One ball, 2 strike count on Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Strike three called, well placed by Michael Rucker, and the top of the 8th inning is over. Blue Jays get no runs on a hit and leave one runner on base. Going to the bottom of the 8th, it's the Blue Jays 11 and the Orioles 4. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis.
The designated hitter.
And here comes Renato Nunez, designated hitter,
Nunez.
who is 0 for 3 out of the number 4 spot in the order. Nunez played third base regularly over the last couple of seasons, but now he's assumed more of a designated hitter role, with Rio Ruiz getting more playing time and the middle infield changing drastically. That pitch fouled off. Hanser Alberto used to play third, and then it was Jonathan Villar at second.
Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to count.
And then they had a couple shortstop options they were trying to use that didn't work out. But now with Ruiz playing third, Jose Iglesias at shortstop, Hanser Alberto moving from third to second. Nunez, who's definitely a better hitter than fielder, getting time as designated hitter. That pitch called a strike over the outside edge. And the count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that misses outside, ball 4. Thomas Panone has been in since the 5th inning. He replaced Chase Anderson in the middle of the 5th inning, and he's been in ever since. Has pitched 2 full innings and now enters the 8th. Issues a leadoff walk. Now here's Chris Davis. Davis 0 for 3 out of the number 5 spot. He started off the season well, but not doing very well in this game. 0 for 3 in this game, and yesterday he went 1 for 4. Not as dramatic as it's been over the last couple of years, at least to this point. Davis finished 2018 and 19 with an average under 200. Also set records for most consecutive hitless games. Counts 1 and 2. Having a rebound year, though. 10 RBIs, 4 home runs. Entering play a .279 average. That has certainly changed after going 0 for 3 in this game, but having a comeback year to this point. Or at least paving the way for a comeback year. As he flies out to Randall Grichuk, and that's out number 1, bottom of the 8th inning.
Austin Hayes.
Here's Austin Hayes. He is 1 for 3, hit a solo home run in the 2nd inning. Other than that home run, he's hitless. He scored the first run for the Orioles. He's been their center field option right now, although they have a few other center fielders on the roster. Dwight Smith Jr., Cedric Mullins. But Hayes trying to work his way toward being a full-time starter, as are the other two. But ever since losing Adam Jones, the Orioles haven't had a signature go-to everyday starting center fielder. Two-one pitch coming. Swing and a fly ball toward right field. There's Derek Fisher. He makes the catch. And back to first.
Now batting.
Goes Nunez. That's out number 2.
Rio Ruiz.
Nunez walked to begin this half inning. He's on first base. Both Chris Davis and Austin Hayes just got out. Now here comes the number 7 hitter, Rio Ruiz. He's 0 for 2, but he walked and came around to score. Back in the 5th inning. 0-1 pitch. That's a strike, counts 0-2.
No ball, 2 strikes.
Panone with an opportunity to complete his third full inning on the mound out of the bullpen. He hasn't given up any earned runs to this point either. That pitch is fouled off, counts to 0-2. Despite giving up a few base runners here and there, Pannone has not given up any runs. Swing and a miss. Rio Ruiz strikes out to end the 8th inning. The Orioles get no runs on no hits. There was one walk in the inning and one runner left on base. Last inning of regulation coming up. It's the Blue Jays 11 and the Orioles 4.
Number 43.
Coming in now to replace Michael Rucker is Sean Armstrong, who has pitched in 15 games. He has a 1-0 record and an ERA of 4.24. Middle of the order scheduled to bat for the Blue Jays, and leading off is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He is 2 for 2 with a couple walks. Reached base in all 4 plate appearances so far and takes ball 1.
No strike.
One of those hits was a 2-run home run he hit in that 8-run 4th inning that the Blue Jays had. Stevie Wilkerson throws to Chris Davis. Gurriel Jr. is out, Guerrero Jr. is out for the first time in this game, and with 1 out, that'll bring up Randall Grichuk. Grichuk still one of the only hitters in this Blue Jays order not to reach base in this game. He's 0 for 4. Facing Sean Armstrong for the first time. Here's the pitch. Swinging a foul ball, counts 0-1. Randall Grichuk, a former St. Louis Cardinal, traded to the Blue Jays. Cardinals have had much outfield depth over the last 5 or so years. He swings and misses at that pitch. Harrison Bader being one of them. 0-2 pitch. He swings and misses, according to the home plate umpire. And that's out number 2.
Now batting.
Quite an overcast day here. Some fog raining down in this April afternoon. Here's Brandon Drury. 2 outs, top of the 9th. First pitch from Armstrong. That misses, ball 1. One-0 pitch from Sean Armstrong. That's too high, counts 2-0. Drury is 1 for 3. He also walked earlier in this game. But in his last 2 at-bats, he's gotten out. 2-0 coming from Sean Armstrong. That's too far inside, counts 3-0. Travis Shaw on deck. Here it is. That finds the zone, counts 3-1.
The count is 3-1.
This is Sean Armstrong's first inning pitching. He just came in to start the 9th. Swing and a miss, and the count's full 3-2 on Brandon Drury. Blue Jays starting first baseman. On the ground left side and foul. The count is still full, 3-2. Softly towards center field, and Drury with another base hit. And he's at first with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning.
Up next to the Blue Jays.
Despite that pitch being inside, he's still got a decent piece of the barrel on the ball and hit it Hardly enough to get it out in the center. For Travis Shaw. He's 0 for 3, but he walked and scored a run
1-0.
back in that 4th inning. He went 2 for 4 yesterday. Now 0 for 3 today. One 0 from Sean Armstrong.
Ball 2.
And that's too high, counts 2-0.
2-0.
Armstrong got the first 2 hitters of this half inning out, but after a walk, has worked a 2-0 count on Travis Shaw. That's too far outside, counts 3-0. And Derek Fisher right now in the on-deck circle for the Blue Jays. Here comes the 3-0. And he was swinging 3-0 and fouls that one off. And that does make sense. In a 7-run ball game, it's not a huge risk from having your hitters swing 3-0. That one was left up in the zone. That's hit toward right center field. Both Mancini and Hayes running after it, and Hayes calls off Mancini at the last moment. And Hayes makes the catch. That ends the top of the 9th. Blue Jays get no runs on a hit and leave 1 runner on base. Last chance for the Orioles, who are down 7 runs.
Your attention, please.
You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. Thomas Pannone is done.
Miller.
He pitched the end of the 5th inning and then pitched the full 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. Now Justin Miller, who is in a non-save situation, comes out and tries to put a cap on this ball game. 8-9-1 hitters due up for the Orioles. Stevie Wilkerson, Chance Sisco, and then Jose Iglesias are all scheduled to bat. Quick scoring recap for you as this game comes to a conclusion. The Blue Jays struck first on a Derek Fisher single in the 2nd inning. The Orioles responded almost immediately in the bottom of the 2nd with an Austin Hayes
1 ball, 1
solo
strike.
home run that made it 1-1. But then in the 4th inning, the Blue Jays scored 8 runs and got RBIs from Derek Fisher, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The Orioles in the bottom of the 5th were chipping away at the lead. They scored 3 runs thanks to a couple RBIs from Jose Iglesias and Trey Mancini. But then in the 6th inning, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. got himself some more RBIs after he hit a 2-run home run. And that made it 11-4. Neither team has scored since that home run by Lourdes Gurriel Jr. As Wilkerson keeps this bat alive, count still 2-2. But that 8-run 4th inning has made the difference in this game.
We got a full count.
Count full 3-2. Chance Sisco on deck. Stevie Wilkerson, a switch hitter, batting from the left side. Here's the 3-2. Lined into left field, base hit. So Stevie Wilkerson leads off this bottom of the 9th inning with a single.
The catcher. Chance.
That was a well-placed pitch by Justin Miller, but credit Stevie Wilkerson for staying on that pitch, looking it all the way through, getting the barrel of the bat on the ball, and hitting it where it was placed. It was on the outside, so he took it the other way. Hit it hard and gets himself a single. And now here's Chance Sisco. Sisco 1 for 2. Singled and scored earlier in this game. He scored on Trey Mancini's double back in the 5th inning. Elvis Luciano, Wilmer Font. The 2 throwing in the Blue Jays bullpen as of now. Miller about to throw pitch number 10. And the count is 2-1 now. The Blue Jays, or the Orioles, haven't really gone away per se. They've been putting offense together. They scored in a couple innings. It just they weren't able to chip away enough and find themselves needing 7 runs to keep this game extended.
2-2 count.
Two-two pitch. Strike 3 called over the outside edge. And that is out number 1.
The batter, number 11, shortstop, Jose.
Well, you be the judge. Cisco didn't agree. 1 out, top of the order comes up again. Here's Jose Iglesias. Who takes ball 1.
Counts 1-0.
Iglesias hit an RBI double back in that 5th inning. He's also singled in this one, 2 for 3 officially. Here comes the 1-0.
Nope.
Counts 2 balls, no strikes.
Ball.
3-0. Don't forget you're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter for news about this league. At Virtual MLB is the Twitter handle. And check out the YouTube channel as well, MLB Virtual Network, where you can find games live, archived, results and standing updates, and highlights from each game, a condensed view of the prominent plays in every game. That can be found on the YouTube channel, MLB Virtual Network, and it can also be found with news on our Twitter page, at Virtual MLB. Subscribe and follow if you can. We really appreciate the support.
No, that's a ball.
And that pitch misses low. That's ball 4. Justin Miller giving up a single and issued a walk. So Wilkerson's on second, Iglesias on first. And here's Trey Mancini, the number 2 hitter. Arguably the best hitter on the Orioles team as of right now. First pitch from Justin Miller. Strike 1.
0-1.
If the Blue Jays can hold on to this lead, they will improve to 14-13. The Orioles with a loss would fall to 14-12.
It counts 1-1.
The Blue Jays are 1.5 games back of 3rd place. That's where the Orioles occupy the standings right now as Mancini hits that toward left field. Back goes Hernandez, and he makes the catch. Wilkerson tagged, but doesn't try to advance. Hernandez throws off line to Guerrero Jr., and that's the 2nd out of this bottom of the 9th inning.
Next for the Orioles,
But the Blue Jays, who won yesterday, are inching closer to 3rd place, the spot that the Orioles occupy right now. And with a win, the Blue Jays would be a half game back of 3rd place. And if the Blue Jays could sweep this series, they would move into 3rd place and push the Orioles to 4th. But that's still to be shown, as is this game. Not quite concluded yet. Anthony Santander at the plate. The Orioles 1 out to work with. Strike 2. Oh-2 pitch coming to Santander. Hard hitting to right. That's a base hit. Derek Fisher cut off. Drury over to Jensen. Wilkerson tagged out at the plate, and that is how the Orioles end this ball game. Well relayed by Derek Fisher in the outfield, and Drury credited with throwing it to Jansen for the out. And the Blue Jays win this ball game 11-4. The Blue Jays improve now to 14-13. The Orioles fall to 14-12. An 8-run 4th inning really set the tone for how this ball game was going to finish. The Blue Jays win it, move closer to 3rd place in the AL East, and the Orioles in position to relinquish that now at a half a game.
Final line score this afternoon.
And that'll make Game 3 of this series tomorrow even more pivotal. Blue Jays have now won the first 2 games of this series
For the Orioles, 4 runs,
and move
7
one
hits,
step closer
no
to
errors. They left 8 men on base.
a higher spot in the AL Eastern Division. Quick recap for you.
3 hours and
Toronto Blue
59
Jays scored
minutes.
first in that top of the second inning. Derek Fisher hit an RBI single.
Joining us here
In the
this
bottom of the second
afternoon.
inning, Austin
And we
Hayes
remind
hit
you
a
to
solo
please
home run. That made it
drive home
1-1.
safely.
Then in the top of the fourth inning, 11 hitters came to the plate. 8 of them scored thanks to RBIs by Derek Fisher, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. scored a couple runs on a 2-run home run he hit. And that capped off the 8-run inning for the Jays. Moving to the bottom of the fifth, Jose Iglesias and Trey Mancini each had RBI doubles. Jose Iglesias has scored 1, Mancini scored 2. That made it 9-4 at the time. And then in the top of the sixth inning, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hit a 2-run home run. That made it 11-4, and neither team scored in the last third of this ball game. Final score 11-4. The Blue Jays scored 11 runs on 10 hits, committed an error. The Orioles scored 4 runs on 7 hits. Player of the game, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who went 2 for 5, had 5 RBIs total in this game, and a very close second to our player of the game was Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who reached base in 4 of his 5 plate appearances, went 2 for 3 officially with a home run, and he had 2 RBIs in this one. But Lourdes Gurriel Jr. getting our player spotlight for being the player of the game. Well, that'll just about wrap this one up. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Virtual MLB and subscribe to the YouTube channel MLB Virtual Network. But for now, I'm Nicholas Callis saying sayonara. Once again, the final score, the Toronto Blue Jays 11 and the Baltimore Orioles 4.